Let's talk about the great showdown, debit cards versus credit cards. What's the difference and what are the pros and cons of each? Let's start with debit cards. What is a debit card? Debit cards have the appearance of a credit card, but operate like a check. Whenever you make a purchase with a debit card, you're deducting cash directly from your checking account. They can also be linked to a savings account, but are most commonly linked to a checking account. View them as a check or cash equivalent. So for example, if you buy something that is $500 and you have $1,500 in your checking account, after you purchase that thing, you'll have $1,000 left over in your bank. It's pretty straightforward. Spend it, it takes it out, and then you're left with whatever is there after the fact. It is virtually pretty much impossible to go into debt with a debit card, because if you don't have enough money in your bank account for the purchase, your card will get declined. The bank will give you a big fat no. They'll say, hey, none of that. Stop spending, because you can't. You're out of money. Let's take a quick little side note here on trying to make a purchase with a debit card when you don't have enough money in the bank for it. When you do that, you're going to start hearing the term overdraft. So what's an overdraft fee? An overdraft fee is the fee you get charged when your bank account goes below zero. It's pretty much a punishment for having no money. That's not how the bank would word it, but every single year, banks make tens of billions of dollars off of overdraft fees alone. So do whatever it takes to not be a part of that statistic. Overdraft fees can be charged daily, weekly, or monthly. It all depends on your bank. So remember, if you spend past zero, they'll charge you even more money. Now let's talk about overdraft protection, because that sounds like a good thing. Please protect me from overdraft, but it works in a little bit of a different way. So overdraft protection is when you tell your bank, yo, even if I don't have enough money for the transaction I'm trying to make, have it go through anyway. You tell your bank that it's okay for your bank account to go below zero, and then you get charged an overdraft fee. It's not a good thing. You want to opt out of overdraft protection. So when you go to make a transaction that will put your checking account below zero, the transaction will get declined. Ultimately, you'll get hit with the fee for going below zero, and we additionally don't want to go past zero for our own sake. So this is pretty much saying, hey, bank, if I don't have enough money, that's okay. Let me go below zero, and then I'll let you charge me some more money as a fee. So it's bad. Overdraft protection is a bad thing, and you want to opt out of it. So what's an authorized or arranged overdraft? An arranged overdraft, and please never do this, don't ever do this, is when you see it coming and you tell your bank, hey, I'm going to go below zero in a few days. How far past zero will you let me go? And your bank will then allow you to spend up to an agreed limit. So let's say negative $500. And you can spend it all at once or little by little, but of course, you're going to have to pay them back with interest on that money, or you can be charged a monthly fee or a setup fee. There's lots of different ways that the bank is going to try to snag more money from you. This also typically puts a ding on your credit score if you don't pay them back in a timely manner, as we would assume. If the word overdraft is ever involved, avoid it like the plague. Some banks will even charge you if you have too little of an amount in your account. My bank will charge me a fee if I ever go below $20 in my checking account or $300 in my savings account. So be sure to talk to your bank and get a list of all the fees they could potentially charge you. It's better to know what to avoid than find out the hard way. The idea is that because we'll be constantly tracking our spending, budgeting, and keeping track of our net worth, we'll be proactive in not finding ourselves in this position, because we'll know how much money we have in the bank and hopefully do what it takes to keep the amount well above zero, trying to avoid all those fees as much as possible. My concluding thoughts, I spent a lot of time on overdraft, but my concluding thoughts are on debit cards. It's a great way to ensure you're never going to go into debt, because you can only spend what you have, right? It's pretty much an equivalent to spending with cash. As long as you opt out of overdraft protection, it's impossible to go into debt with a debit card. Debit cards are synonymous to spending with cash. You are spending the money that comes directly from your personal checking account. Additionally, now that we're in the habit of budgeting and tracking our net worth, we should never be close or do our best to be proactive about never being close to overdrafting on our accounts. I don't view overdrafting as a negative part of using debit cards. I would view overdraft as a negative toward how we manage our finances. Debit cards are a wonderful tool, and I highly suggest the use of them in many cases. See you in the next one.